Today, my guest is an inspirational businessman, Terry Nelson. Terry is the founder and driving force behind TNAR, Terry Nelson's Aqua Running. Terry is the creator of the patented Elite Hydro Buoyancy Training System, a revolutionary buoyancy training suit which allows its users to remain completely upright in water, permitting them to perform a complete range of exercises, including running. Terry's customers include globally famous names such as 10 times European champions Real Madrid and leading English clubs including Liverpool and Manchester United. He also counts the England rugby team and British Lions amongst his customers, as well as stars such as Diego Maradona. But Terry's route to business success has not been straightforward. Diagnosed with a serious kidney condition in his early 20s, Terry has had to overcome kidney transplants, and as a result of this, one of his legs was amputated several years ago. A committed athlete, Terry has not allowed his condition to affect his love of sport, and he can count amongst his achievements being crowned the 5,000 metre transplant world champion, an event that he won just 5 weeks after a serious knee injury. Terry is also an ambassador for the government's Disability Confidence campaign, which aims to boost the employment rate amongst disabled people. And in fact, his UK manufacturing facility only employs disabled staff, so Terry is not frightened to practice what he preaches. Terry, a very, very warm welcome.
Hello, Tony. Thanks for calling. It's my pleasure.
Excellent, excellent. Well, Terry, let's get straight on. My first question, before you tell us about your product, I'd like, if I may, to start with one of your most famous customers, Real Madrid Football Club. Now, could you tell us about the day that you showed them your buoyancy suit and how they reacted?
Well, Tony, I knew what I had when I developed the suit. Before I developed it, I wanted it to tick all the boxes. The suit had to be perfect for high-level sports, but also for people, general fitness, for people with disabilities, for children. It had to tick all the boxes. But I didn't have a marketing budget, so my plan was to go. I had, if you like, a business pyramid, and I thought I'll go to the top of the pyramid, which is basically the richest, most successful, high-profile football club in the world, Real Madrid. Now, if I get them to use the suit, and I believed that they would, I was very confident because I understand football and rehabilitation, so I was confident. But I had to get to them, and I thought, well, if Real Madrid will use my suit, people will take notice. And it's free marketing, basically. So then the next question is, okay, well, I want to go to Real Madrid, but how do you get to Real Madrid? You can't get to them because they've got everything that they want, and they're also very secretive and very powerful as well. So I found a way to get to Real Madrid to cut through all the red tape, and it was with the help of the UK Trade and Investment. I took a UKTI course called an OMIS course, OMIS, an Overseas Marketing Introductory Service course. And that got me, wherever I want to go in the world, the British Embassy, whatever country I want to do business in the world, the British Embassy will introduce me to whoever I want to speak to, no matter what the company is. No, I wanted to go to Real Madrid, so I took the OMIS course, and I went to the Madrid in the Madrid Embassy. I said, look, I want to see Real Madrid. Can you get me through all the red tape and through the doors? I've got this buoyancy suit that I believe that Real Madrid will use, and, I think it'll be a great success. So to cut it short, it was quite difficult even for the embassy to get through all the doors. But eventually they managed to set up a presentation with all of the medical staff and the coaching staff at Real Madrid. And the medical services at Real Madrid are run by Sanitas Real Madrid Medical Services. So they set it up for me with an interpreter as well, because a lot of them speak Spanish in Madrid, of course. So they set up the presentation. I took the bodysuit, and I had a PowerPoint presentation. I demonstrated the suit in the pool. All the players were there, the doctors. It's quite formal at Madrid. They all wear white coats, the doctors, when they're watching and speaking to you. And the coaches were there, and I demonstrated the suits at Valdebarras, which is their training grounds, Real Madrid City. And then afterwards we went into a side room, and I presented the suit on a PowerPoint presentation, and they loved it. And not only did they say, yeah, Terry, we'll buy 50 suits right away, we'll buy 50 suits. They said, we'll also endorse the suit officially, Sanitas Real Madrid Medical Services, but we'd like to launch the suit here at Valdebebas, and that's unheard of. So they launched the suit with a corporate video, and it's just gone on from there, Tony. So that was the great opening, if you like.
That is a fantastic story, and
Yeah.
I love the fact you've identified your sort of top customer and just gone straight for it. I think that's absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Well, the business advice at the time, Tony, was actually the opposite. The business advice was, Terry, start at the bottom, because you've only got one way to go, then that's up. Yeah. But I found that was quite a fearful way of looking at it. I was very confident, and I don't have any fear or apprehension about what I'm doing. So I thought, well, no, I'm not going to fail. I've done all the background work. I know the product. I know this type of training that I'm doing. I've been many years doing it, so I understood it completely. So I was very confident in what I was doing. But even that wasn't enough. Being confident, getting to Real Madrid, taking the course, getting through the doors. Even after that, I still had to patent and design register the suit, because Real Madrid have got everything. Why would Real Madrid buy a suit that they liked, that could bring the players back from injury, and they could just make it themselves? They've got Adidas, they've got multi-million, billion-pound companies supporting them. So what I had to do before I revealed the suit for the first time to Real Madrid was intellectually to protect the intellectual property of the suit. So I had to design, register, and patent the suit first, and that was another challenge in itself.
Yeah. No, I can well believe that. So I mean, I think that's a really important point to bear in mind. The first point that you were proved right. Your instincts were to go in at the top, and you've done that, and you've been proved correct.
Yeah.
And then secondly, about patenting your idea. Now, for people who aren't familiar with your products, maybe this is a good opportunity. Just describe it to us, to our listeners, so they can understand how it functions and how it helps users. Just tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, Tony. Well, always, whenever I used to, if you like, I've done so many presentations. I forgot how many I've done. But to talk about the suit, people can be a little bit puzzled, and they don't quite understand, because I had to develop the market. There was no market. I also had to create the market, if you like. But and I always have a, if you like, video footage. Whenever I do a talk, I always show a video of the suits in action, because within 10 seconds people understand. But basically, it's a buoyancy suit, which is it's made of. I mean, we're making it of different materials now, but it's made of polyester and lycra. Polyester and different materials, but it's got buoyancy pads strategically placed in the suit, so it holds a person in the correct running position in the pool, in the water. So they're kind of upright, but are slightly in forward. So it allows them to run in the pool upright, so with no impact. So people can train and exercise with no impact. For example, high-level sports people, the likes of Real Madrid and Manchester United, they can train and run with correct biomechanics very early in the recovery, which speeds up the recovery, because they can train very early in the recovery with no impact now, so they can run. But then we've got all the other areas where people with disabilities, people with general fitness, it holds a person up right in the pool, so that if they've got poor core strength, or they've got weak arms or weak legs, or they carry a lot of weight, 90% of the body weight is supported by the fact that it's a buoyancy suit. There's no weight, if you like. There's hardly any weight when you're in the pool. So it's a buoyancy suit, Tony, which allows you to exercise and train with no impact. That's really what it is.
Excellent. So you've created a product which covers a whole range of needs, from elite athletes through to just general training, and then people with disabilities as well. So there's a whole wide range of markets that you can now aim at. And how big is the market? What's the sort of size of the market?
The market is massive. Tony, I mean, there's challenges there. First of all, I understand the market. I've had independent consultations done about the market as well to back up what I think. But the market is the same in every country in the world. I've got no doubt that whatever country I go to in the world, all the top sports teams will use the suit as part of their tools, if you like. Now then, that draws attention to all the other areas. All Real Madrid is and Manchester United is a marketing tool, really.
Yeah.
It draws attention to all the other areas. So let's say I've got an opportunity in South Africa at the moment. Now, the Springboks will be probably using the suit. Now, they're very high profile. Now, the company in South Africa will use that to draw attention to all the other areas, like people with disabilities, children. The children's suit from age 2 upwards is a learn-to-swim aid, basically. The pads are removable, and they can be removed as the child gets more confidence in the water. The market is massive. And it's the same all over the world. Everyone's the same, no matter what country you go in, Tony.
And I think you've got a really, really smart marketing approach, as you say, by going, for example, in South Africa to the Springboks or whatever it may be. That gives you such a high profile with all of their supporters and followers.
Yeah.
So you've got this great product. You've got we've established you've got huge demand for it. You've got a great marketing strategy. If you could, Terry, just take us back a little bit to the beginning. Help us to understand your amazing journey, because it's much more than just the suit. It's you and the whole thing packaged together. Tell us your story.
Yeah. Well, Tony, I mean, if you like, the philosophy behind the suit is very positive. It's a lifetime's work, really, based on all of my challenges, if you like, and I like to call them challenges rather than problems.
Yep.
They are challenges. I used to be a footballer with Liverpool Football Club. I was on the books for about 3.5 years, just behind the great midfield Liverpool had, Graham Souness and Jimmy Case and Ray Kennedy and all these guys. Yeah. And anyway, I was trying to break into that first team.
Tommy Smith, I remember them all.
yeah. I mean, I know you're a football fan, Tony.
I am, yeah.
Yeah. What's the team? Your team?
There's only one team, Liverpool.
So you're good. Okay. Well, anyway, you'll remember that midfield. And that was probably the best midfield we've ever had. So it was a tough midfield to break into, and that was the midfield. I was in the reserves trying to break into that, but I was always seemed to be injured. I was struggling from being on the verges of the first team. I started to struggle with this injury, and I couldn't shake it off. I never really knew why I couldn't shake it off. Anyway, to cut it short, after I got tired of being injured, and I was out of the game for a while, and I just left Liverpool. I got tired of it. I thought, if I can't play for Liverpool, I'm not going to play for anyone. And actually, that was the way I thought at 18, 19, if you like. But I got an offer to go to Everton, and I thought, okay, I'd go to Everton, try Everton for a while, because I just wasn't breaking through at Liverpool with this injury. But I went to Everton for a while, and if you like, I was still fighting the injury, and I just lost all of my inspiration, if you like. So I spent a couple of years out of the game because of this injury. But then my brother, Dean, joined the parachute regiment in the British Army. And I saw suddenly my brother, for me being the fit brother, my brother was the one who was flying all around the world on exercise and this type of thing, and he looked great. So I thought, look, Terry, you've got to get back into that. I needed a disciplined fitness environment, and I'd lost it since being out of football. So I joined the parachute regiment, and I passed all of the training and was going into the regiment. And I was first I was in the first 2 or 3 in a lot of the runs, and I wanted to be SAS. I'm that type of person, quite extreme. If I'm going to be in the paras, I want to try out for the SAS. And I had a chance, because I was always in the top couple for the runs and everything. But then I noticed I started to become very tired, and my face would swell up, and my legs would swell up when I took my boots off. And anyway, to cut it short, I was sent back to Liverpool, and they discovered I had kidney failure, and that my military career was over, and I'd never be in the military again, and that was it. And it was very, very difficult to take, extremely difficult. And I was on kidney dialysis then for 2.5 years. And after 2.5 years, I'd lost a lot of weight, and I was very ill. I was close to death again. And my brother Dean decided, he'd been asking me if he would give me one of his kidneys, and I refused for 2 years. But because I was close to death, I thought, I want to live. I've got so much to offer. I want to live. So I accepted the offer of my brother's transplant. So my brother actually left the military to give me the kidney. And when I had the transplant, I became alive again. I just become so well, so fantastic again. Everything lit up. I could see everything in colour again. And I thought, how can I repay my brother? Money doesn't do it to repay him. And I thought, well, the best way to repay him is they'll become the fittest transplant patient in the world. And there's an outlet for that, Tony. I become one of the first patients to run the London Marathon. And at the London Marathon, there was a world bronze medalist at the World Transplant Games. And he was dead fit. And I was nowhere near him. And I thought, that's the way to repay me, brother Dean. I'll become not the bronze medalist, the world champion at the World Transplant Games. So I trained then in athletics. I learned from a professional coach all about correct running biomechanics and all these things connected with running, because I was a footballer, not a runner. And to cut it short, I entered the British Transplant Games 2 years later, and I won everything. I won 3 gold medals. Then I was picked, Tony, to run for Great Britain at the World Transplant Games in the 5,000 metres in Vancouver in 1993. And it's all turned full circle now, because I'm back in Vancouver now with the business, which is quite uncanny, to be honest with you. Yeah. So in 1993, I was picked to run for Great Britain in the World Games, or 92 I was picked. So I spent the next year training at a higher level. So I wanted to pay. I was obsessed with burning desire to repay my brother for this gift of life, they call it. Anyway, 6 weeks before, this is when it really all starts. 6 weeks before the World Games, I broke my foot, a metatarsal injury, and I couldn't run. And they said, Terry, you're finished. You can't go to Canada. You can't compete. You can't walk. You're finished. Plus, your transplant's failing. You're going to be back on dialysis. I couldn't accept that. I had to repay my brother. So I searched for a way to carry on training, Tony, and I found these flotation belts you put around your waist, which keeps you buoyant in the swimming pool and allows you to run. So I started training and running. And to cut it short again, after 6 weeks in the pool, running in the water intensively twice a day, the injury healed, and the doctors allowed me to go to Canada, and I won the gold medal, the 5,000 metres world gold medal. So, that was everything I could have wanted to repay my brother. It was an obsession for 3-4 years. But unfortunately, my transplant then failed, and I spent the next 12 years, 6 days a week in the Royal Liverpool Hospital on dialysis. And that, to me, of all the challenges I've had, it's that 12 years which defines everything now. It defines me as a person. All of my strength, all of me, whatever it is that makes me what I am now, it comes from that 12 years. Because it was extremely difficult to stay on top of everything, if you like. And what I did for the 12 years, apart from I was very ill all the time, I had this therapy of this jogging in the water. I was in a wheelchair. I couldn't walk. But this belt, I used to jog in the water nearly every day, and it was like Groundhog Day. Every day was the same. 20 minutes in the water, go to dialysis, come home from dialysis, lie down, wake up, go in the pool for 20 minutes, dialysis, lie down, wake up. It was just like Groundhog Day, I used to think. And anyway, so I had 12 years of that. Right. But it gave me a lot of time to think, Tony. Yeah. And because my body wasn't working. So I've done all my thinking in those 12 years. Right. And after 12 years, I had my second transplant. And I was ready to go again. And it was a great success. It was another live donated transplant, this time from my brother's wife, who saved me life again. So that was another fantastic thing. And that's led me to where I am now.
Wow, that's an amazing story, and a couple of things there. I mean, your debt to your brother, and obviously to his wife subsequently, it must be an amazing feeling to be able to achieve what you're doing now, and as you say, to repay them in some measure.
Yeah, Tony. Well, when it's something like that, no amount of money can repay that, because
No.
it's just beyond that. You realise that when it comes right down to it. I mean, but the way to repay them, I feel, is to make something of my life. If you like, the one thing I keep saying when I was on dialysis for all those years was that when I'm well again, I've got to make a difference to the world. I've got to make a difference with my life to the world.
Yeah.
And I used to, that thought kept me going, that I needed to, because I was close to death many, many times, and I felt death coming to me, and I felt, no, Terry, keep fighting. One day you're going to be able to make something of your life. And that fire in me stayed with me and helped me to fight back against the illness. And now I'm able, fortunately, I've got another chance, and I'm putting it into practice, hopefully.
No, definitely, Terry, and I think vision is the thing that really, sort of strikes me from what you've just said. When I'm sure there must have been many, many dark days.
Yeah.
It seems that something sustained you through that, because you felt you had something greater to offer the world. Your life meant a lot more than just lying in the bed there. Is that right?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's where the suit comes from. It comes from all my thoughts, all my exercising when I was ill. I mean, I'd go to the pool. My son would push me to the pool, and he'd lower me into the pool with the belt on, and I'd be jogging in the water, very ill, feeling very ill. But I'd try to run, even though I was very ill, with good technique. And if you like, that I understand running biomechanics because of my athletic training, and I understand what it's like to train while ill. I understand high-level sport. So all of these, if you like, experiences are in the suit. And that's why I knew before, I had no fear about Real Madrid. I mean, Real Madrid are just footballers, and they have the same needs as everyone else. When they're injured, they need to be able to train. And they need to be able to train with something that doesn't make the injury worse, to keep it very simple. And that's what my suit did. Quite simple, really. But it's just that I've developed something which ticks the boxes from elite level right the way down to children with disabilities. And I think that's the unique selling point of the suit, really.
Yeah. Now, Terry, just listening to you, it's obvious that you're somebody, you don't take things lying down. You're a real fighter. Now, many of our listeners, they're going to be small business owners, and let's face it, we all face problems from time to time, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
It could be, to do with, customers, suppliers, or even maybe family or whatever it is. Now, what do you say? What's your advice to somebody who is facing difficulties in their business? Maybe they feel like throwing the towel in or whatever. What would you say to them?
Well, firstly, you've got to believe totally in what you're doing. You have 100% total belief in what you're doing. Secondly, surround yourself with people who are can-doers, not cannot-doers. Okay, you want to be with people who are can-do. Okay, there's people everywhere, there's negative people everywhere who will pull down every idea and find a way not to do something. Okay, I've had them around me, Tony, but I'd say surround yourself with people like you if you can. Of course, you can't live in a bubble, and you're going to have people who are negative, and there's going to be influences there, but you've got to stay true and believe in what you're doing, and never give up, never give up. If you believe in what you're doing and you don't give up, eventually you'll get where you want to go. I mean, I'm still not where I want to go. Yeah. I'm on the verge of something now, but it's still, what I found happens, Tony, once you overcome one challenge, there's another challenge, and another challenge, another challenge. Life's a series of challenges, and you just keep overcoming them. And I've got challenges now, not if you like life-threatening challenges, but challenges with the business. You see, there's different levels of challenge.
Well, I was going to ask you about that particular point there. I was going to say, what about your business model? Is it based purely on product sales, or are you looking, for example, at things like services? Maybe franchising some kind of training system, or something like that.
No, well, the business is actually very, very well thought out, Tony. I never thought of it all myself. I mean, I've had consultations, I've paid for independent reports and what have you to back up what I think, because you can live in a bubble sometimes and maybe not see things. So I've almost bankrupted myself for the intellectual property If you like the business, the strength of my business is the intellectual property.
Yep.
The suit is protected, it's patented, which the UK patent also means I only pay 10% tax around the world. So that's a very positive business benefit, if you like. But the suit is designed, registered. Before I went to Real Madrid, the first time I ever showed the suit, people knew I had this suit. He said, Terry, when are we going to see this suit? I said, not yet, because I was putting together all the intellectual property. So the design registrations of the suit, the patents of the suit, I've got another third layer of protection through the World Trade Organization,
yep.
which is fantastic. So I've got 3 levels of protection for the suit. Now what that allows me to do is license or franchise the suit to be distributed, to be sold around the world, but also I've copyrighted a training method in support of the suit. So
Excellent.
What I do, basically the business, Tony, is let's say I've got an interest from South Africa now, amongst others, and they are looking to license the suit for distribution and license the training program in support of the suit. So that's the business.
Yeah. Oh, excellent! That's brilliant. You've really thought it through. I mean, it's not just as you say the product. You're now looking at training services and the whole system around it. I think that's fantastic. Yeah, and it took a number of years, Tony. It takes time, and that's the challenge in itself, to keep believing in what you're doing, never give up. But also as well, I think I should mention the suit had to be CE marked too. The European CE mark for safety. It's the highest safety standard in the world, but that's very important too, that the suit is safe for the likes of Ronaldo to wear, or people with disabilities to wear. So government organisations can use the suit with confidence. It can be insured. So CE mark is very important to the development of the business as well. Excellent. Now, just changing the subject slightly, Terry, I always encourage my customers to include on their websites a bit of complementary information, not just purely focusing on their business and their services. And I notice on your website you've got lots of things like recipes for healthy eating, in particular the Mediterranean diet. Now, is that something that you want to do as well, to encourage people to be aware of the importance, of diet and a healthy lifestyle? Sorry, Tony, you broke up a bit there. No, I was saying that I encourage my customers to include complementary information on their websites. Yeah. And I notice on your website you've got lots of things like recipes for healthy eating, the Mediterranean diet. Yes, yes. And is that something that you want to do, to encourage people to be aware of the importance of diet and things like that for a healthy lifestyle? Yeah, well, it's not just about sport, it's about people, and it's not just about exercise either. People need to try to eat correctly. It's not about dieting, if you like, but it's trying to eat, if you like, sensibly. So we felt the Mediterranean diet was a good diet, a simple, natural diet that people should, consider as part of a healthy lifestyle. So yeah, we have recipes and things like that on the site. Although we're developing it, we've got a new website and what have you coming soon with the new suit and what have you. That's the next stage. But yeah, a healthy lifestyle using this. We found, Tony, that people who come to our classes, we get a lot of women, a lot of people who try to lose weight. Now, they lose the most weight by having a good diet and coming to aqua running, so the weight seems to drop off them if they eat properly as well. So that's it's an important part of it, we feel. Excellent. So what does the future hold for you then, Terry? What's next for you and your business then? Well, the great thing now is that we used to manufacture the suit in China, and I've brought, since I spoke at the Disability Confident Conference in London several months ago. I was quite inspired by all of the people at the conference. The Prime Minister was there, and I have to say that he seemed very sincere in what he was saying about people with disabilities being employed more and what have you. And I started to think to myself, you know what? I was having problems communicating with China. I thought, let's bring the manufacturing back from China to the UK. So I did, and so we've opened a manufacturing unit here in Liverpool, and we manufacture the suit
in limited numbers at the moment in Liverpool. It costs more expensive, and we've got people with disabilities working on the suit. So that's another way that I feel that I'm helping to give back, if you like. So that's the big development.
Oh,
And
wow.
so that's manufacturing in the UK. It costs more, but I just feel that it's a good thing for the business that we do that, and we can adjust the prices of the suit and what have you. So and I've got more control over the suit. We're developing it all the time. So I've got a more hands-on approach now, where I'm closer to it all. So that's the big development. So yeah, I'm excited about the future, Tony. I mean, I've just signed with an investment company in Canada as well. We're going to have a manufacturing base in Canada as well as the UK. So there's a lot that we're going to be doing in the future. So I'm really excited about it, actually. So it's a very important time now for the business.
Excellent. I mean, that sounds. I mean, it sounds like a really exciting period that you're entering, and I think what you're doing up there in Liverpool with your staff and your team, I think that is absolutely brilliant. You're a real example, Terry. I think it's fantastic.
Well, thanks, Tony. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, look, Terry, we need to wrap up. You've taken up so much of your time, and really appreciate it. And we just want to say, I just want to say thank you very much for sharing your story with us. The first time that I heard about you, I thought you've got an amazing story to tell, and it's even more incredible, hearing it from you.
Yes.
And I'm sure our listeners, will agree with me. You really are an inspirational business leader, and you deserve, all of the success that you're going to achieve.
Oh, thank you, Tony. I appreciate your interest in the business, and it's a pleasure to speak to you.
That's great. Well, thank you very much for your time, Terry. I appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, Tony. Thanks for the call.
Cheers, then.
Thank you. Bye.